We're still on air with Biashara Tuesday. Here with me on the show, has been there before, is the president of the TVET Students Association, Kimani Washira. He's been on the show before to speak about the troubles of TVET institutions and what students can do to adapt, of course, and what we can do to improve the situation in our TVETs. Today, though, he's here on his capacity as the president of the association, which means matters of politics are very key to his operations as the president of this association, but also a future leader. I'm sure he has a vision that he can share with us a bit later in matters of politics. But welcome to the show another time.
Thank you very much.
Karibu tena sana.
I'm happy and proud to be here. We got great feedback when we were here, and thank you for hosting us again, so that we can discuss and dissect politics, because I understand that politics and perception is all that determines the growth of a nation.
All right, definitely. Do you have a social media handle? I think I want them to tag you, ndio maswali zikikuja pia wanazipata. Social media handle?
Pale kwa Twitter utanipata kama Kimani wa Washira. On Facebook, Kimani wa Washira, and all other social media handles. Twitter has the difference as Kimani wa Washira. That's how I call myself.
All right.
Yes.
I hope that the Association of Students is also tuning in. Kama uko na maswali for the president, if you want to give him a shout out, this is the time. But the business of the moment is what is in the dailies. Washira, I think ningependa tuanze na the headlines. Let me see. My best headline today is the Standard. I love it when it's brief. I love it when it's on current events, and also when it's on point. Today I don't see Raila on the front of the pages, so that's a good thing from all the editors. But the one who's won the headline today is the Standard, and it reads Cult Massacre. This has been the conversation on social platforms and offline as well. The name cult has gained momentum, and I'm going to be reading the definition of a cult and a religion. I think that's also a discussion that is heated on Twitter. There's so much feedback that I'll be looking at as well. But troubled religion. Questions abound after more than 70 bodies of cult victims were dug up in graves on land said to belong to Pastor Paul Mackenzie. Is there a recruiting agency? Why didn't the intelligence community smell a rat in spite of too many telltale signs? Did local police look the other way as gullible faithful were lured into their deaths? Is it time to regulate religious activities? That's my best headline, the Standard, Cult Massacre. And as you can read there from that small snippet, the questions asked there are very pertinent, and I think the editor there was on point. I don't know if you share the same sentiments or which is your best headline.
If I was the editor, I would have said Shaka Horror Massacre, religious terrorism. Two statements, brief, and explaining everything, because this is just exposing what has been happening that has not been exposed yet. But I'll also go with you that the Standard got it right when it came to the headlines, but I'll go with the photo for the Daily Nation.
Okay.
Because on the beside of the Daily Nation, they have the three guys, the three young kids.
All right.
The eldest being 21, 14, and 17. It shows, or it explains further, the problem is not only to those who are above 18, who can, we will say, have reached the age of consent also, and also miaka ya kukua naweza kutengeneza decision poor, but mpaka watoto wadogo have been victims of this massacre. So
the picture on the Daily Nation paired with your headline, which is, I think, a remix of what the Standard has put there. I will agree there, because even the president himself likened Paul Mackenzie's activities to those of terrorists who use religion to radicalize. And in his own words, you can get to read on page 5 of the Daily Nation. But we are going to get into that in a bit. The Daily Nation's headline reads Shakahola Horror. Shakahola horror deaths jumped to 73. I think they failed. This sounds like a sentence in one of the paragraphs, so I don't think this will have been, this has made a good headline. However, the death toll there, you can see, is now at 73, official record as of this morning. Police exhumed another 26 bodies from multiple graves in Pastor Paul Mackenzie's Shakahola village farm in Kilifi yesterday, taking the toll to 65, with 8 other church members who had been rescued succumbing in hospital. But the search for bodies is not yet over amid reports of controversial pastor who is now warned of consequences. Before we get into that, I was going to read here the definition of the word cult. Cult is a term considered by some, or relatively a small group, which is typically led by a charismatic and self-appointed leader who excessively controls its members, requiring unwavering devotion to a set of beliefs and practices which are considered to be deviant. So that's a cult, controlled by a self-appointed leader who is requiring that the members follow through strictly with the practices in a manner that is considered to be deviant. This is what a religion means. It is the belief in and worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or god. It's a particular system of faith and worship, and it's a pursuit or interest followed with great devotion. So that's the difference between a cult and a religion. That's a discussion that has been happening yesterday on social media. I'm sure you've seen that. Everyone is pointing fingers. Hii mnasema cult hiyo fulani, na wewe siko kwa cult fulani.
Fulani ni cult fulani. And I have seen those jokes and that began during campaigns. There's the wife to Raila Amolo Odinga, Mama Ida Odinga had suggested that we should regulate religion, and everybody was gun-blazing at her. Now we are here. Those who were gun-blazing are now in the government, saying that we need to regulate the religion. And then those who supported Mama, now in opposition, saying, no, you guys are also another cult. So
that is another cult.
That is another cult, on how you were able to manipulate. But that is what they are saying on the streets. And I understand those are not my views, but that is the views of those on the Twitter streets and Facebook.
Right. Okay, are we all, before we get into this again, we've done a lot of prologue there, but I think it's necessary. Do you think that we are all gullible? Because the conversation now happening is, these are mostly kids, it's illiterate people, or people who don't have enough education, or do not have enough exposure. If they are learning to a certain level, they won't be susceptible to this kind of activity. Do you feel there's someone who's not susceptible to being gullible to something like this?
Honestly, I have seen an air hostess who is rich, as covered by the standard page 4, sold things worth 7 million, buy a one-way ticket to Mombasa, to Kilifi, and subscribes to this cultism. Nobody is above these teachings, because this is religious terrorism, which has been a problem in Christianity and also in Muslims. So nobody is above their teachings, because they are able to manipulate our brains. They are able to have teach this doctrine in a way that everybody is able to buy the gospel. So
no one should lie to themselves that they can. They should just be aware of the telltale signs, as has been said here on the standard. The questions which are being raised, first of all, is there a recruiting agency? Why didn't the intelligence community smell a rat in spite of too many telltale signs? Did local police look the other way as gullible faithful were lured into their debt? Is it time to regulate religious activities? Washira, I'm going to, I think let's address these questions, and then there's a very